Yeah, so this is the Doobie Sour podcast now. Look at me. I am the captain, okay?
What?
What would if I was running for office and I wanted your vote, what is like one thing where like if you heard it, you're like, I'll go vote for that guy?
I don't even know the difference between a Republican and a Democrat, dude.
I'm a little disappointed.
Ape alone, weak. Ape together, strong.
I'm cool with that.
I'm not very smart.
You had the option to get dinner with Joe Biden or Donald Trump. Who are you getting dinner with?
Andrew Tate.
Well, now we know Max's views on politics.
Conforming to the sitting on the fence, dude. Oh, dirt.
TikTok got banned in the state of Montana.
What are you gonna cry? You gonna cry?
I believe you. I will tell everybody right now, I believe everything Max said. I have no reason to be like he's hiding anything.
That's true.
Yeah. Clap. I clap. You don't clap.
Do I do the intro?
Yeah, I don't know what your intro is.
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Don't Be Sour. We have the special guest, Joe, but it's going to be an Uno reverse card today. Joe is going to interview me, and it's going to get crazy. And we'll find out if Joe can actually carry a podcast, because I think you think this is easy, but it's not. So easy. I'm not going to help at all.
I got this in the bag.
I'm going to give you like one-word answers, and you're like, I didn't plan for that.
Are we ready? I have my little notepad like Max has. I wrote my notes. I put top secret at the top like you do. I'm ready, dude.
Smash thumbs up button.
Yeah, so this is the Doobie Sour podcast now. Look at me. I am the captain, okay? We're going to lay down some ground rules first because Max has been known to edit some things out of podcasts before.
No, I don't edit.
Okay. We're just going to... I was watching Jackass last night is where this idea came from, okay?
Probably the part with the dicks.
Love that part. But no... In there's some BDSM stuff, and they tell him, safe word, Oklahoma. If at any point today you don't like the topic, you don't want to answer, just say Oklahoma, we move on. But don't edit anything out.
Okay.
And I'm steering away from some of the topics.
I'm going to trust in you as my friend.
I'm not going to get you canceled. You'll be all right.
Well, I'll be able to deflect anything. I'm what you
just say Oklahoma.
I'm what you call a fence sitter,
all right.
Joe.
Great. So we're good? We're good with that? Yeah?
And begin.
All right. We're going to start out. We're going to reverse the roles, and we're going to ask you the same stupid shit that you asked me the first time I was on the podcast. I am an Uber driver. You just got in my Uber. Who are you? What do you do?
I'd be like, help!
Yeah.
The doors won't open. I call myself a YouTuber.
You really?
Well, yeah. I say I make videos on the internet, and I own some businesses.
How big does your business get before you say, I'm a business owner, or I'm a candy entrepreneur, or I'm a...
My businesses are absolutely large enough for me to consider myself a...
That's why I'm surprised you chose YouTuber.
Look, bro, I identify with YouTube, and I said this on I filmed a podcast with Jazzy on her provocative podcast, and I said this, and this might be one of the dumber things I've said. I said I would take a lower amount of growth in my companies, or like I would take less money.
Yeah,
and to have a larger social media audience and views, because I don't know why I'm so obsessed with fucking YouTube and the numbers, dude. I can't.
All right.
I can't. It's an itch I can't scratch.
I'm surprised. I thought you would have said like I own a candy company, and then
I do. You know what bothers me is I don't like business owners. They get it's too like sniffing your own farts, bro. It's like yeah, I got my business.
But so is content creator.
No, yeah, but I'm a real content creator.
If you told me, hi, I'm Max, I own a candy company, I at least am going to assume you have some level of success in this industry. I don't think most people are like, oh, I own a candy company. But if I met you and you're like, I'm a content creator, you could have 5 followers on fucking SoundCloud, make shitty music. You could be a TikToker. You could be a like I have no clue where you're at in that.
And I'll tell you how awesome I am as a social media. Bro, I've been doing YouTube for 10 years. It's literally in my blood. But while everyone else was making fun of people for filming themselves, and later down the road, they were going to film the inside of their butthole and charge $5 online for it, I was making videos, bro. YouTube is what I do. It is
I dealt with that in the beginning.
Filming your butthole?
No, but I think I jumped on after you guys, but I was still doing it before it was like cool. So at like airports, it was awkward as shit. I'm like walking around, everyone's like pointing and stuff. At least you could be like, I'm making millions of dollars doing this. I make no money on YouTube, so I still feel like an ass.
You know what the biggest reason why I take pride in YouTube? Because it's gone downhill. If anything, I shouldn't take pride in it much. It's because I succeeded at YouTube, and that it was such a hard thing to do, and I found success at it. And I take so much pride because I found success at it. Because everyone else tries, gives up, ooh, I can't do it. I'm like, oh, you tried for 6 months and it didn't work out, you give up? I've been doing it for 10 years.
I think everyone can do it. I think now the issue is like...
There's too many people.
I feel like there should be a baseline of like, you need 10,000 followers to tell someone you're a YouTuber.
I could get down with
There
that.
should be I feel the same way. We're going to get off topic here for a second. I feel the same way with like cars, where I'm like, if you said you own a Lamborghini and I'm like, oh, come pick me up for dinner, and you show up in like a 2004 clapped out Lambo with 100,000 miles on it, I'm a little disappointed. Like my Ram that I just bought is more expensive, nicer, faster.
I've always wondered I had this thoughts way back in the day, and it's not like to knock on where anyone's at or whatever, but whenever I would see dude, BMW came out with for a while. They came out with these station wagons a long time ago, and they were so. I'm sorry if anyone owns. I hate station wagons. The Ford Taurus is actually my least favorite car of all time. I hate it so much. I just hate it. I would see these old BMW station wagons that are like the lamest thing ever, and I always wonder if the people in that, at any point, assuming they're like a younger person, would they be like, yeah, I have a Benz or like a BMW, like a Beamer. I'll pick you up in my Beamer later, and you pick up in that.
Yeah.
I mean, while I'm driving a piece of shit 95 Grand Cherokee, so I'm not any better, but.
That's right. There's definitely a line. Because I know people that bought like used Bentleys for 20 grand. And it's like, they could take a girl on a date, like, I got a Bentley.
Didn't you say that you can get, like, you can get an old Lamborghini for like.
A 2004 very heavily used Gallardo, I want to say is probably like 65, 70 grand. And like, it's not very fast. It's like a 6-second 0 to 60. I'm so saying, like a Toyota Corolla is more money and faster nowadays than. But you could still say I own a Lambo. That's what I'm saying with content creators. I'm like, I feel like you have to have some kind of base before you're like, I'm a content creator.
I think you should be able to make. I don't know. I mean, that's a weird line because you would say, oh, like be able to make a living. I think you should be able to at least make money off of it.
Making some, I agree with that. I'm
but
cool
you
with
can
that.
also be on the rise and be aspiring to do it.
All right. Now, second question you asked me.
See, bro, yours don't flow, man. You're just like, all right,
no, it does. It goes right
two?
into that. But how much money did you make last year before taxes?
Before taxes?
I don't think anyone has any fucking clue. I think everyone thinks like, oh, Max is like struggling right now. Like we got to buy some shirts to help dude eat.
Oh, I think they should do that. $18 million.
Really?
Yes. I made 15.9, we'll call it 16, $15.9 million with Sour Strips and social media.
That was profit?
Fuck no.
No, I'm saying how much money did you make last year before taxes? Before you paid taxes, how much money did you make profit, what you were paid?
Oh, I have no idea. I just look at the top line
I was
number.
like, holy shit, $15 million.
I just look at how much money is in the bank account, and then I just look at like top line.
Okay, so we don't know still, but it's okay.
I mean, less than that. I don't even know I'm not a numbers person. I'm not like people say I'm a business owner or whatever. I'm actually the worst business owner ever because if you were like, Max, what is your actual gross margin? What is your CAC? What is your customer acquisition cost? I have no idea. Literally zero idea.
It's doing well. The lights are on.
I just know.
To pay people.
Here's how I know if my business is growing. Okay, I look at my bank account like 7 times a day, and I'm not even exaggerating. And each day, 7 times, but each morning, if it's growing, then I think the business is succeeding. If it goes down, bad time.
What number would you take right now for Sour Strips to walk away? Like, let's just say.
Such a loaded question.
Reese's comes in and says, hey, Max, we're going to give you a check for $50 million to buy Sour Strips, and you're out.
Why do you pronounce it Reese's?
Reese's.
A Reese's. Like
Reese's.
a Reese's cup.
What do you draw, like when you color something? What is that called?
Orange.
No, what?
A crown.
Crayon.
Crown.
Crayon.
I put syrup on my waffles. I use a towel to dry off.
I'm triggered right now. But anyways, like $50 million you walk away, or you're like that invested in Sour Strips where it's like, no, I want to take this thing all the way to the end?
You know, you kind of got to look at it like we're essentially, right now Sour Strips is doing, I don't know, each month you never know, but like we're doing about $2 million a month. Like couple months ago, we did almost $3 million. And you got to figure, let's say $500 to $1 million like profit each month almost. Like so recently, yeah. And so if you think about it, like all you have to do is
I don't know what the candy industry would be, but I'm going to assume it's like 15x, 20x, like an valuation wise. I don't know what it would be on a candy company, but.
Well, a lot of evaluations and what you're worth is going to go off like your EBITDA or your bottom line, right? But when you take in a company that has a brand presence, it gets a lot more complicated than that because like you look at Sour Strips and it's a very clear, my favorite word, trajectory that, lower the costs, increase the distribution of it, continue what you're doing. It has a very clear path to a significant number. So you really, I think it would do it a disservice to take it off of like 3x your EBITDA, you're only worth like $2 million or something.
But your number right now. Would you take the 50 million or be like, no,
I don't think I would take 50 million.
100 million?
I think I'd be interested in 100 million.
Zeros.
I used to say that this was like behind closed doors. I would always think in my head that if someone said, Max, here's $20 million after taxes, fees, M&A, lawyers, whatever, $20 million going in your pocket, I'd walk away.
That's how I know things are good, because me and Max used to work out before Alpha Land was Alpha Land, and Sour Strips, I think you were stressed the fuck out. And there were times you'd be like, if someone offered me 10 right now, I'd walk away. And now we're at 100. Now you're like, I wouldn't even entertain 50.
Well, bro, I'd consider 50. I mean,
I'm just saying, there was a time like when you first started it that you were like, I would take 10, no problem. I remember you saying that, but I think you were also stressed the fuck out and everything wasn't really flowing.
Everyone wants their company to get really, really big, but like the bigger it gets, all the problems don't just like go up at a consistent pace. They astronomically go up, and the amount of stresses and
your profit margin takes a hit. Everyone thinks like, oh, I'm at 40% profit at $1 million, so we go to 10 million and I make $4 million. But like once you get to $10 million, your profit margin is going to come down considerably as you're hiring different heads. And
all your costs just go through the roof.
So it's like you can get to 100 million a year, but your profit margin can be 10%.
When I said that I would take it, and I was like all stressed, because there's been many times in the company when I literally got down. Now, obviously, I could dive into my savings and whatnot, and cash out my
that movement money,
cash out my pathetic Robinhood or something. But like there were times when like the account got down to like $10,000, like less than $10,000, and I'm like, and I have employees, bro. Like no one sees that shit. No one sees like the stresses. Then I still get yelled at for shit.
All right, so. You're cheap. We've talked about this before.
I'm frugal.
All right. So you made $15 million last year. Let's just assume
it was 18 million.
We'll say 10% to be very nice. You made 1.5 million last year.
Okay.
Whatever. You still don't rent nice cars when you go places. You stay in the Motel 6. You're a cheap human. Even when we go to dinner sometimes, you're like, oh, it's kind of expensive. You're making a lot of money. At what point are you like, fuck it, we're renting the Lambo, we're getting the high rise, we're going all out?
Okay, I can go really deep on this.
Let's keep it high level. We have a lot of topics to hit here.
Okay. I think that let me try my words again.
Yeah.
My growth into wealth was a very slow upward trajectory. Like it was just like a constant climb, right? And yes, when Sour Strips came, and more recently with Sour Strips success, yes, it has a significant rise, but there was never this like one thing, and in 1 year, my wealth just, 10x. Like I didn't have that. So I've always just lived frugally when I was in college. And as I, got older, I just always assumed, I always fear the worst. Like I'm stressed about getting a warehouse because I'm like, what if the company goes under? That's not how you should think. But when I spend money, I also think this money could not be coming in like this anymore. And I just weigh pros and cons. And I haven't, we had the conversation before of like, when I go to a hotel, I could afford $1,000 a room and it not stress me out at all, not affect my finances. But I told Joe this, when I've gone and stayed at hotels, I will get the room that is $10 cheaper that has 2 queens rather than 1 king if I'm by myself, because I'll save $10. Because I'm like, why wouldn't I? Who cares?
But there's a fine line there.
But when I'm with Taylor, I spend money. When I'm with Taylor, we're going to we're going to Spain a little bit. We're going to Mexico. San Francisco for a wedding. We're going to fly first class, and we're going to have a great time. And I'm staying at the Four Seasons. Like
I would say I'm pretty chill on. I'm not, but sometimes I'm chill. Like I'll stay in a shitty hotel. I don't care. My cars. And flying, like I can't do non-first class. I think I'm too tall. I don't fit. Like we went to Colorado and I couldn't get first class. It wasn't available, and I almost had a panic attack. It's just too.
Here's my thoughts on first class.
Yeah.
Unless you are going on a vacation, like I'm talking like to the tropics or something, vacation, or
what if you're going to vacation to the mountains?
Sure.
Okay.
Vacation.
Yeah.
Not just like a trip somewhere. There's a difference. Vacation, or you are flying more than 6 hours, get first class. If you are not,
more than 6 hours.
It is the biggest waste of money to set up first class. Now,
what
trust
if you
me,
don't fit?
Well, that's you. I'm sorry you were born with fucking 8 feet tall, bro. Yeah. But like, I'll tell you, I do feel like a little bit of a peasant when I walk past everyone in first class and they're just like staring at me, and I'm like, no, I'm going.
Legs crossed with their little meals and their Sky Mall.
I know.
That's one of the ones that like I saw recently that there's, don't want to say overweight. There's overweight individuals that are lobbying against airlines because they feel like they're being discriminated against. They want wider seats.
I've seen these.
Yeah. So I'm like, as a tall individual, can I lobby for cheaper? Because it's more expensive for me to fly if I have to get first class and I don't fit in the back of the plane. So if they get it, I get it, right?
I mean, you start going down that path. That's like, if anyone is left-handed, then they should get a discount because the world is made for right-handed people.
I agree. I don't think they should get it. I'm just saying they're trying to.
Did you know that?
They do.
I think there's studies that say that left-handed people actually die before right-handed people because
I'm left-handed.
Are you really?
No.
Oh, no. Yeah. God, I would have fucking made fun of you.
Yeah.
No, it's because the world's made for right-handed people. Everything is made for right-handed people.
Back up a little bit. We were talking about you being cheap because you drive a soccer mom SUV.
That Grand Cherokee is so
it's nice.
It's so nice,
but it's not a $18 million a year income car.
Yeah, but who cares?
When are you going to get something that's like, oh, this is sick?
When I bought that Audi,
yeah, I was sick.
That was sick, but I think that was my first time I ever had like a crisis because I had a little bit of my carbon fiber peeling on my Grand Cherokee, which is covered under warranty, by the way. And I was like, oh my God. And I had this midlife crisis where Sour Strips was doing at that point, we were at Summer Park Drive. Nowhere near what we're doing now. But even then I was like, I am the owner of this successful candy company. I'm doing well. I have plenty of money in the bank. I can't believe that I'm driving around in a 2015 Grand Cherokee.
Peeling carbon fiber.
Yeah. And I was like, people need to like know that I'm successful essentially. And I had a midlife crisis.
When I had just bought the RS6, I think that kind of, there was a little bit of a, you're trying to copy me. So I get it. It's cool.
Yeah, I was.
So
but I got that and I hated not only did I really honestly dislike the car a little bit, but I hated I hated the reasoning why I bought that car.
But you will buy the new cert when it comes out.
The day
what if the new cert's $175,000? You still buy it?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not about the money. It's just you want a cert.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Because on the flip side, I think some people think that my whole like me not buying expensive stuff is my flex to like be able to be like, I have a lot of money and I don't buy that stuff, and like, but it's not. I just don't care.
Jeep just hasn't released a cert yet.
Correct.
So Jeep, if someone at Jeep's watching, you can make a $500,000 SUV and one person would buy it.
I will be the first one on the lot if I can get it.
You won't.
There's no one out there that likes Jeep more than me.
No, but they're going to go over sticker. It'll be a whole thing. So I asked on my Instagram before this, I was like, hey, give us some topics. And one that was hit on a lot that feeds right into this was like mortgage, car payment. How do I know? How do you look at it and say how much money I can spend on a car or my mortgage compared to what I'm making?
Oh, I have no idea.
Where would you be comfortable? Like if you had $1,000 car payment, you think you should be like, so I go against the grain. A lot of people are like, oh, you spend so much money on cars, you must be making $1 million a month. And really, no, I just pick the cars I buy a little bit uniquely so they don't lose value. So I don't really mind putting some money in. But there's typically like the 10% rule, but that doesn't really work. Cause if you make $50,000 a year, I mean, car payment at $400, $500 a month is not going to be a nice car.
Well, I think even for like rent or your mortgage, it should be no more than 20 or 30%.
I'd say like 30, 40.
30% of your.
If you're making $50,000 a year, what kind of rent are you getting for $800 a month? I don't think that exists anymore.
I've never, at any point of my income, I've never looked at it as of like how much of this is of the money that I'm coming in.
You didn't. It wasn't until you moved here. I gave you shit because he'd buy all of his cars cash. It wasn't until I think the RSQ8 might have been the first one that you took a loan on.
Well, I just thought long term, and this is where I was thinking. I was like, I didn't process the whole. You can use that money and put it in the stock market and make a better return and make money on that money instead.
Or lose it all, but yeah,
exactly. I was more like, let's see, if my SRT when I bought it was like $50,000, it was like $55,000, and I put, I don't know, 10 down or something for a little bit, and I had a loan for a small period of time, and then about 4 months in, I looked at my car payment thing, and with the interest rate, I don't know what it was, like back in
2.9 or something.
Yeah, back in 2016, but it was like over the course of your years, you're going to spend an extra $10,000. I don't know what it was, $5,000, $10,000. But I was like, I don't want to spend 10 extra grand. I'll just pay for it now, and then I don't owe that money. So that was my logic of paying it off. The opposite logic of using the money. That's not what I thought. I wasn't like. And even now, that Jeep now is 100% on a loan. I don't do any of that, and that's just and I was just like, oh, I don't have to.
I'm a strong like 10% down minimum, so you're not super upside down when you go to sell it. So if it's a $100,000 car, put $10,000 down minimum. And then I think I agree with like no more than 10 to 15% of your income on a car payment, but it depends on what the car is and it depends on your life. If you have 3 kids and own a house with your wife, you probably shouldn't be spending that much money on a car. But if you live at home with your parents or you have a cheap rent, like then you can spend maybe 30%. I feel like you gotta weigh it out.
If you want my honest opinion, and this is like how I've thought, and this isn't just because I can afford more things now. I think if you need to bust out the calculator and figure out the percentages of if you can afford it, you shouldn't buy it. Like it shouldn't be a concern to you, and that it scales as you go. But I think if you are going to stress about a purchase, you shouldn't buy it. I believe in the, you should be able to buy it almost twice over.
Yeah.
That doesn't always apply, but it should not stress you out. When I moved into my apartment in Northern Virginia, it was either $3,000 or $3,500. It was a lot of money still today, and it was a lot back then.
I'm about to move into an apartment. I'm doing the same thing right now. Where I'm like, this is a big chunk of money every month into a fucking box.
But here's the way that I thought about this, and this, again, doesn't always apply. Sometimes I think the more bills that I have, the harder it's going to make me work because now I have to succeed. I have to make money to pay off this shit.
Or you're going to be homeless.
You can always make more money, dude.
Well, speaking of making more money, we talked about this before, but the whole tipping thing.
That was, dude, if you weren't being on this pod, you weren't interviewing me, that was a topic I was going to bring up to you.
Well, we got into a little bit of a debate at dinner over this because I was talking about the fact that when they bring out food, if you order it and they bring it curbside, do you tip? Or restaurants like, I think even at Chipotle doesn't do it, but like restaurants like Chipotle have started doing the thing where they flip the iPad around. I'm like, do you tip if there's no service?
Unless I grabbed a bottle of water or something and put it on the counter, and even if there's a tip, I don't tip for that. If any other situation, if there's an option to tip, I put 20%. Joe yelled at me because I ordered catering at Papacitos, and they brought it out to my car. I ordered it online like a week ahead of time, got it picked up, and I put 20% on a $400 fajita thing. And also, everyone is always tipping off of the total amount, and apparently you're only supposed to tip off the pre-tax amount, but no one does that.
Otherwise, you got to tip the state. State already got their money.
Yeah, but no one thinks about that because now the waiter or waitress is looking at that going, you're a cheap ass, because they're looking at it's not 20% of the total.
If you brought it out, if I order $400, because here's my argument: $400 of fajitas or $80 of fajitas, same size bag. Chick bringing it out to my car is doing the same amount of work here. I'm like a mobile. I'll tip you like $5. Regardless of the total of the thing. I'm going to tip you to bring it out to me. I'm not tipping you because you served me all of this food.
I think tipping is, I actually talked about this in a Q&A. I'm more of the mindset of like businesses should pay more appropriate. Like that's a discussion. But I hate the concept of tipping because here's the best example that I think everyone can agree with. You're at a bar and you're like, I want 2 shots of freaking rail tequila. And they're like, all right, $5 each, right? So it's $10. You should tip what, $2, right? 20% on that.
You would think.
What if you're like, okay, hey, I want this. I got to raise at work. I want the locked up Casa Azul gold bottle crazy. $300 a shot. It's $600. It's the same exact effort that went into. Say the bottle's right next to that one. But now, if you tipped $2 on that, you would be a cheap piece of shit and they would hate you and they would look down on you. But like because the value of the dollar is more of the same tactic, I don't think you should tip more for that.
And maybe, I don't know, but like the chefs and stuff get a percentage of the tip?
I don't know.
Only the waiter?
It gets complicated, and that's why everyone's either like
explain it to you.
Pros and cons of tipping and whatnot, because they're like, oh,
I think we go like Europe where everything's a little bit more expensive,
correct,
but there's no tip.
1,000%. I am 1,000%.
Because even sometimes, I don't know if it goes to the chef or not, but if I'm in a steakhouse, the chef in the back fucks up my steak and it has to go back 3 times. Now I'm mad at the waiter and I'm going to tip less when the waiter did nothing wrong. It was someone else's fault. So the whole like percentage based on how happy you are, it's not really fair if it's going to the waiter because the waiter might have nothing to do with this.
I pretty much just do 20%. I've accepted 20% on everything ever. The only time that I tip under 20% is if like there is a notable, terrible experience that I had, and it's hard for me to get that.
For me, if it's brought out to my car, $5. If I'm at a fast food, you're not getting a tip. Chipotle, I'm not tipping you.
Okay, you tip delivery driver for pizza. What if you pick up the pizza?
I'm not tipping.
See, I would still tip.
I wouldn't tip.
Because I'm just like worried that guy is going to remember me and then he's going to see me somewhere else and he's going to know someone and they're going to like...
Yeah, I might be really ignorant to this though, because like if that tip goes towards the people that cook the pizza and stuff, now I'm more inclined to tip. I think the tip only goes to the waiter or the delivery driver.
Here's the thing. I always tip. I dislike the tipping system and think it should just be increased wages or increase the price of the product and don't do tips.
Well, I think we also feel the same about this. We were walking out of Alphaland the other day, and there was a dude asking for donations, kind of right at the door, kind of trying to get you right before you walk through. And this happens all the time. You go to like Chipotle, and there's like a Dare tent, and they're like, "Oh, you want to donate to?" And then you kind of feel like an asshole, and you're like, "No." But
or like when you're checking out at the register, and it's like, "Would you like to add like $1?" And you have to hit no.
Yeah, it's like, "Do you want to save starving children in Africa?" And then I'm like, "No." You don't want to say it too loud. There's a whole South Park episode about this, but yeah, it's like I don't like. It's kind of hard to say no, but also like,
and it's one of those things. If you let's say you give someone money one day and the next day it's a different person, and you say no, like do you have to like let them know? Be like, no, I tipped yesterday.
Would you?
I'd say
I tipped yesterday. Or would
yes.
you be like, no? Yeah. See, it's guilting you. I don't like it. We didn't actually need to talk to Christian about that. Like, I can't set up at the door. Put it somewhere where I have to go to them, but don't put someone where every time I walk through, someone's like in my face. Like,
well, I think the argument would be like, you know, oh, sorry, we uncomfortably asked you to donate to situations. It's just a muddy situation, honestly. But do I like you know, charities and donating to charities and contributing and giving back? Yes, but I just think I think the way that it's done, and I understand that's like the best way to get to guilt people into doing it, because maybe a lot of people would never do it if they weren't guilt to give the $1, $5, whatever.
Oh, dude, I'll like go out the back door. If I'm at Chipotle and I see like someone at the front, like I will do everything I can to not, because I know myself, and the minute they ask, I'm like, okay, like let's hear it out, let's hear what it is.
But I do always, when I'm at a pet store, and it says like
Roundup.
Yeah, if there's a Roundup option, I always do Roundup on any situation.
Yeah, so you feel bad for dogs, but starving children, no, you're good.
It's a muddy situation.
All right, yeah. All right, before we get into the next one, let's take a shot, because the next one's going to require a little bit of.
Okay, guys, how do you feel this podcast is going so far?
I'm killing it.
What's crazy is you have no idea of the time concept. I have a clock back here.
You don't look at it. We're going on my pace today.
You don't know. Is Joe's like, is it almost over? Are we halfway? Should I speed
I don't
it
know.
up?
I mean, I can tell you right now, I am a quarter through my notes here, so I don't know if we're looking good or not on that, but.
Cheer. Dude, I need to start getting like, no, we got to put this, dude, every podcast I watch, they have like all these, like, usually it's like Celsius or some shit, just like.
They get sponsored.
Product placement.
Do they sponsor this?
No one, well, I get paid.
No, but the tequila.
No, they just send it to me.
Yeah, so don't put them down.
I just said for free placement here.
You know the owner of the company, where I was like, fuck Joe, what the fuck's telling me? Like, leave it up there.
Cheers, dude.
Cheers.
Give a thumbs up to the video, dude.
Oh. All right. Honest review on the tequila.
It tastes
tequila.
It tastes just like every.
It does, yep.
I'm not an alcohol connoisseur, bro. Like here's the thing. You know, someone who says they are, I want to put low-level tequila in a Clase Azul bottle.
Whiskey.
Chill
I always
them,
want to do that with whiskey.
and then flip them.
Yeah.
And then do it, and people be like, oh, this rail's disgusting. That's clean, Clase Azul.
I do that with water. I'm a big like Essentia
Bro,
or Core.
no,
Those are the only two I'll touch.
Bro, I can't wait to one day do the cold water in a bunch of cups and have Essentia and tap water and all this shit, and you will not be able to tell the
I can tell
difference.
you Essentia. I know Essentia.
No, you cannot.
It tastes different.
No, I still buy Core water if I have the option, because I like the branding. I like the way I think people buy Essentia not because they think it tastes better, but I think they like, and this is how branding is powerful. I think, there's 75 options of bottled water, and people are buying Essentia, even though the one next to it is essentially the same thing, could be $4 cheaper, but people like the association of being seen with Essentia because it says that you can afford Essentia. Like, I think that's actually...
It's a brand name thing. I think same thing with...
I think Core is just cool.
I think there is definitely, like, for me, Essentia is like the higher end water, and I think I trust them a little bit more.
I always thought Fiji was the high one, but that square bottle
Fiji
is just
tastes
annoying.
terrible, dude. I hate the taste of Fiji. It tastes weird.
It tastes like water.
No, I can taste different waters.
Whatever, dude. Get to the next question.
All right, this is one of those Oklahoma moments. We're going to touch. We're going to touch on politics.
I'm not
but
touching anything.
We're going to go very light politics.
This is great because
we're gonna keep it fun and happy.
Bro, I don't know anything.
No, I know, and that's what we're gonna talk about. So let's start out here with everyone wants to know who you voted for, but we know you're not going to tell us that. So
No,
instead,
I will.
Will you?
Yeah. Nobody. I don't vote.
If you had to vote for somebody.
People probably get mad that I don't
if
vote.
you had to vote.
I have no idea, Joe.
Okay. Well, we're going to
I-
find out this way, all right? Let's just say you had the option to get dinner with Joe Biden or Donald Trump. Who are you eating dinner with? You got to pick one. Just who do you want to sit down with and eat dinner?
I think as just an individual for the entertainment and the character, I think I would choose Trump.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Joe Biden wouldn't be able to talk. He can't form a fucking thought. So it might be a little hard to have dinner with him, but
you can tell Joe's thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm just more like,
out of the two evils,
I think Donald
like,
Trump's like a character.
Exactly. I think I would learn something in that dinner where like, I don't think I'm learning anything from my grandma and Joe Biden are about the same.
Is he really old? That's like a big thing people talk about his age.
We think he has, a lot of people think he has dementia. He's very like, everyone's like, oh, he has a stuttering problem, but like, I just don't.
I have a stuttering problem.
What's happening? No, like he like really, he says some weird stuff sometimes, dude. It's a whole thing.
Trump says some weird stuff.
He does, but yes, he does. They're both bad. I'm not going to say bad orange man, old man, whatever. I'm just curious to see your thoughts.
Trump is orange, dude.
He's very orange. There's some girls at the gym that look like Trump.
He's just.
Anywho. But we talked about on our podcast, you were saying that like you can't do anything about this, so why should you care?
Correct.
And my next question is, when do you start caring? At what point does the government involve in your life where you're like, I should have voted?
Nothing.
So taxes go up to 60%, you're not mad at all. That's fine. You just go along with it.
I think, and this might be a hot take, I'm talking very surface level here, but it's like getting really, really mad at how expensive gas is. Guess what? You still got to go. You're still going to buy that gas, even though it's more expensive.
But the decisions in the beginning might affect that. You may have never had high gas if a different outcome happened.
Now I understand, as ape alone, weak, ape together, strong. Like I get that, the whole let's overthrow, right? But literally, just me, not people like me, not a bunch of Maxes, me as an individual. There is nothing that I individually can do.
Would you say that with your limited knowledge of politics, the country is in a better place now or 2 years ago?
I have no idea. I think, to be honest, every president, whether you love him or hate him, at the end of the day, it's like, seems kind of the same.
Who's your favorite president?
Abraham Lincoln.
Really?
George Washington. I don't
what
fucking
did
know.
What did Abe do?
He freed the slaves.
I'm happy you knew that. Yeah,
yeah, dude.
Real embarrassing if you didn't know that. Yeah,
and he should have never gone to that theater though. But
bad time there.
But I mean, I think every single president, there's been a bunch of shit that happened during their term that everyone disliked, and things that everyone's just comparing now to like the other ones and how this one was better, and then
how does someone get Max Tuning's vote?
You know
what would they have to offer you where you're like, I'm going to go vote for that
Politics
person?
are like sports, bro. People just like yelling at the TV.
No, 100%. But what would if I was running for office and I wanted your vote, what is like one thing where like if you heard it, you're like, I'll go vote for that guy?
There's nothing.
Nothing.
Like you could be like
lower taxes. Would that be appealing to you?
I'm like, that's great, but my vote won't do anything, Joe.
You can't if everyone thought that way.
I know, but I'm not talking about everyone.
I agree with you. I think there's an episode of Curb where he finds somebody, he's like, are you voting for that guy? And he's like, yeah, I'm voting for the other guy. Let's both go grab a coffee and we're good.
Yeah, if Joe and I are both going to vote and he's voting for the opposite party of me and we both go, hey, let's just both leave because we're voting for opposite parties.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But if you don't find somebody that's not, then now we're offsetting the balance.
Here's my thing. I do think that it is very ignorant, immature, and just those things. Ignorant, immature of me to not have any idea of what's going on in the world or whatever. I
agree with you at some point though. What can you do about it? Like I know a lot about the Russia-Ukraine conflict and you don't, but like I'm stressed about it. You're not. Neither of us are doing shit about it. I'm just stressed for no reason.
Oz, my former videographer, he quit.
Oof.
I know.
Quitter.
It's terrible work conditions here. He would literally stress about like the nuclear explosions here.
Oz seems like the kind of guy that has like 20 pounds of like
Oz
MREs.
Oz literally lives in fear at all times.
Yeah, he strikes me as like a doomsday kind of guy.
Yeah. For sure. Bro. The dude stays strapped like going to Chick-fil-A. He would always talk about that, and I go, and I'm like, maybe this is just like a carefree way of thinking, but I'm like, bro, if that nuke comes, we're all dead, bro. Like don't stress about it because we're all going to be dead.
Except for the super rich people that go underground under the Denver airport. You know that?
What?
There's a whole conspiracy that under the Denver airport, there's like a government facility where they have like bunkers and stuff. Because there's always construction happening at the Denver airport, but nothing ever gets done.
Joe, what do you think I'm spending all my money on, bro?
That's your bunker? The Sour Strip sponsored bunker?
That's right,
Got
baby.
Got a little logo in there and everything? Got a podcast studio down
there?
Did
I say 18 million? I meant 18 billion,
there
bro.
There you go. Yeah. You and Trump hang out in in the sour strips bunker?
Yeah, no, I think that I should. It's one of those things that I think if I went down the rabbit hole, it would take me so long to properly understand. I don't even know the difference between a Republican and a Democrat, dude.
You want me to tell you?
Yes.
Liberal, conservative. Most of the time, conservatives believe, Republicans believe, kind of free economy, business. You make your own money. You decide what to do with your money.
Sounds nice.
Yeah. Liberals are very the opposite. They like government control.
Liberals have a bad rap, right? That's people like...
They both, okay, look, you have far left, far right. They both are bad. But see, like,
Oklahoma.
this is 1%. 98% of the population is pretty chill about it.
Yeah, you're hearing the extremes.
That's what I'm like. The fact that you don't want to talk about these things should tell you everything. Because, like, up until recently, we did not live in a country where, like, if you saw someone at a club and you're like, oh, did you vote for Bush? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, I voted for, I don't know who ran against Gore or something. No one was like, oh, I'm going to kill you. Like now in 2023, if you're at a club and you're like, hey, I voted for Trump, and the guy over there's like, I voted for, like, they are going to beat your ass. Like you potentially might die. If it wasn't like that until really Trump. Up until Trump, no one was really upset ever. I mean, people were upset, but no one was like, I'm going to kill you because you don't like the person that I like in office. Now shit's wild. Like now you're like, you wear a red hat.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I think that unless people are trying to like be like lobbyists, which is like trying to change the government, right?
Donating lots of money in exchange for you hopefully doing what I want you to.
Okay.
So like Sour Strips really wants to put some chemical in their candy that's not approved by the FDA. You could lobby for that chemical to be approved in the FDA. I don't think you can lobby for FDA approval, but something like that where you can change the labor law in your area because you want something to happen. So you might donate $100 million to this campaign, and then this guy's going to lobby in Congress for all that.
I don't know, bro. The government's stressing me out. Like
It's all rigged.
I was just watching Your Honor, which if you haven't seen Your Honor, it's got Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad. It's 2 seasons. It's freaking fantastic. But it's all about like people in the government, you know, in the government, and like, you know, trying to like putting stuff under a rug, and I'll do this if you do this. And like when you're watching the show and you're hearing about these deals that people are making, the whole time I'm like, that shit definitely happens. Like that shit of like lawyers are making deals to decide the fate of someone based if they'll help them on a future case. I was like, that shit
I watch Veep a lot, and I think the same thing. A lot of the shit in the, like, Veep's supposed to be like satire, but a lot of the shit I'm like, this actually happens. I mean, you can see it sometimes. Sometimes shit slips through the cracks that we're not supposed to see, and it's just like, this is kind of weird.
I think that there is corruption in the government, and there's things that like they're hiding from us, and there's like ways they're trying to manipulate the way we think. Yeah, probably. But I think at the end of the day, I'm like, bro, I'm just gonna live my life. Like I'm already stressed enough. You want me to stress about all the shit that I have no idea what's even happening? I don't know, dude. And here's the big thing:
you would never run for office. We're never gonna see a Max Tuning for governor of Virginia or something.
No, I've done way too much shit in my past, bro.
I think you're pretty clean. I don't think you got any problems. Well,
You don't know what I've done.
Mm-hmm. I would run for office.
I'd vote for you, Joe.
I would. I wouldn't make it very far, but I would do it. Maybe I would though, because honestly, there's some kid that made it pretty far. Like I think he got elected, and he's just like a normal dude.
The government just stresses me out. I don't. Yeah.
It's a wild place. Really, the only thing that I ever worry about is like if government healthcare became a thing in the U.S. and stuff like that. Like taxes will go so high. And like, what is the pro? If you knew that 70% of the money that you made had to go back to the government, like.
Look, like,
do you even want to make money at that point? Like, it's so demeaning to be like, oh, I made $1 million last year, but
I would just 70%. I would just deal with it. Like it's like, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to you're going to cry? You're going to cry?
I would cry.
And to be honest, people also like, you know, complain about how much taxes, but then if you really think about it, like I'm sure there is a lot of shit that like we probably don't pay that much, but why don't you go drive home today? Like, who do you think pays for that fucking road? Like, that's where the money's going. Like, who do you think? Like,
suck for me.
I understand that, but like, yeah, there's road. But do you know how many freaking roads there are? Like, it's like
that was another question that I saw was somebody was like, would you or Max ever leave the U.S.? Would you ever move to a different country? And I'm like,
1,000% no.
There's not a single country where I'm like, it sounds like it'd be better than here. Like, yes, there's places with nice beaches and mountains and stuff like that. But like, as far as my day-to-day life, I don't think I'd ever leave the U.S.
Nope. I think Mona is literally crazy for wanting to move to Bali.
Yeah, but I don't think she wants to like live in Bali long term. I think this is more of like we're going to go for a year and have fun. I don't think anyone is like, I want to go live in the Philippines for the rest of my life.
Andrew Tate.
Maybe, does he?
He wants to, now he might not like Romania, but he was like very much like Romania because I can like kind of do whatever I want type of thing.
I don't know. Maybe it's like the American like side, but I'm like, I can't imagine. And that's what always pissed me off all the time. People were like, oh my God, this country's so bad. I'm like, really? Like, go to Russia and say the country's real bad and see what happens.
Go to North Korea and say,
That's where I'm like, yeah.
Go
like,
steal a picture from Russia or North Korea. That shit happened. Kid stole a picture and got put in jail. And kid, what the fuck, bro?
That's honestly on you, though.
I mean,
I feel terrible for him, obviously, rest in peace. But also, like, if you go to North Korea, don't fucking steal. Like, you know.
Don't steal anywhere.
It's like the basketball player that went to Russia.
Had the weed pen.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, poor me, I got put in jail in Russia. And I'm like, yeah, not cool. But also, like, why the fuck do you take a weed pen to Russia? Like, you should know better. This is the common sense here.
I don't know. I love...
The Nelk boys went to Russia. And they were in their video, like, joking around, like, nobody bring any weed. It's like the Nelk boys can figure out not to take weed to Russia. Like, you as a professional athlete can figure out not to take weed to Russia.
Maybe she thought it was her nicotine pen.
I don't think so. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I will live in America for the rest of my life.
Well, now we know Max's views on politics.
Did people get something from that?
Probably not. I think you're dodging the
because I'm not. No,
I believe you. No, I believe.
I don't know anything.
Like
bro.
I know like Christian and Shali and these guys. Like I know where they stand. With you, like I don't think you're just trying to get out of it. I think you genuinely don't care. Like I think you're genuinely like I don't give a shit.
That's 1,000%.
No, I respect that.
Give me 10 more shots. Get me obliterated to the point where I'll say anything and I'll still be like, what the fuck is a Republican?
Well, we do need one more shot for the next segment because it's another Oklahoma one. I was told explicitly not to put this in here, and I'm putting it in here.
That's what she said. Some people say that the drinking takes away from the podcast. Or
Does
whatever.
it?
No, bro.
Maybe just cut from
those
here
people
to
are
when we take it.
Those people are not fun at parties, bro. Liquid poison.
Are we going to dinner after this?
I think so.
Yeah.
Woo! Big gulps. So there's so many germs probably on this thing.
It is not any better.
Like if you sucked off this microphone
than it was.
right here.
Okay, I'm going to skip forward and then we're going to come back to the topic that I said you need a shot for because we're going to play a little round of trivia with Max.
Whoa, I had the sound effects. Let me put it on, dude.
I am not going to lie to you. I looked up questions for a 5th grader and I wasn't very confident in your ability to answer those
Probably
questions.
because you couldn't answer
No,
them.
keep the tequila because every time you answer one of these wrong, you're taking a shot. Now,
you're
within
driving
reason.
dinner,
Yeah, if you mess all of them up, you'll die. So just, we have 5 questions.
Bro, okay, before you say this,
I made them pretty easy.
I'm not very smart.
I know, but so I went to Google and I said questions that a 3rd grader would know because I wasn't, honestly, the 5th grade ones, like I didn't fucking know them. I'm reading them like, okay, so you should know all these. We're going to see. All right, number one's the hardest one, I think, for you. What is Fe on the periodic table? What element is Fe?
See, you would think it starts with an F, but I think it's not. I want to see like iron or something. Is it iron?
Nice.
No way!
Yeah, it's iron.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Oh
Wow,
my
look
God.
at you, dude. All right, number 2, what body of water is between Texas and Florida?
Oh, shit.
We've been there.
The Gulf of something.
Gulf of?
Is it the Gulf of Mexico?
You're on fire, dude. You were a 3rd grader at heart.
Oh my God.
What is the 3rd planet from the sun?
No one fucking knows, bro. Is it trick question? Is it Earth?
You're really doing
No
well right
way!
now. Yeah, you're not
Let's
doing too
go!
bad. You don't want to take shots.
People are smiling listening to this.
I know
bro.
you don't know this one.
You're
Unless
supposed to
remember
take
the
shots
song.
if I get them right.
No, that is not how this works.
If I get all these right, yeah, absolutely.
How many stripes are on the American flag?
Well, there's 50 stars.
That's not going to help you here.
So if you carry the 7,
Yeah. There's a song.
one.
If you don't know the song, you don't know this.
these colors don't run.
That one.
How many stripes? So the white and the red.
No, just white. Pick a
What?
color. It's either a red flag with white stripes or a white stripe.
That still counts as a stripe.
Yeah.
Oh, is it something have to do with the amendments or something?
You got to run out of time here, dude. You
12,
wanna take a shot.
12.
It is 13.
No!
Yeah.
For the
yeah.
13 original colonies.
Yes.
Motherfucker.
All right. You can wait till the end and take the last shot. Because the last shot is, what is the largest state in the United States? Land mass.
I mean, it's either California or Texas. I want to say it's Texas because we live here, but I feel like it could be California. But there's more people in California than there are.
No, land mass. I don't care about population. Just area, how big it is.
Are you stupid? How do you think more people fit on a state, Joe?
There are more people in California than Texas. I can promise you that.
I know that. So which means that Texas is the right one. Texas. It's Texas.
All right, Max, you're going to have to take 2 shots because it is actually
Florida.
Alaska.
What?
Alaska is the largest state, yeah.
Bro, people forget about Alaska. It's
Look,
like it's like not even connected to us, man.
You got like
why do you
a
think
60%.
Why do you think that when you ship stuff, it's like only to the lower 48, bro?
I don't know what to tell you.
People in Alaska just
We'll make it you
punching
do
the
one shot.
snow right now.
I'll make it 1 shot for both because I feel bad making you take 2 shots by yourself.
Doing 3 shots?
No, just one.
Yeah, and you take 1.
No.
Bro, I got like,
I don't get penalized for you.
I got like 8 of them right.
You got
Give me
3 out of
that.
5.
Give me that.
I don't know why am I getting penalized here?
Because that's how I did my show. If I got 1 and you got 1, bro, I answered
I didn't
so many
answer- I
correct.
3 out of 5.
That's pretty fucking
Barely
good.
fucking passed.
That's a C average. That's what I did in school, bro.
Okay, all right.
That's like what I did in school.
This will be the last shot for this show, I think.
Oh my god, half this show is just drinking, bro.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Who would have thought for me, you know? Oh my God.
Oklahoma. By the way, guys, make sure you go to sourstrips.com and get some sour strips. We're on Amazon now if you want to get it prime, but sour strips, the best candy in the entire world.
This is my show.
Okay.
This is right, and I'm getting a phone call. It's fine. Okay, Max. We are going into the month of June. You know what happens in June?
I mean, there's a lot of things that happen in June.
It is my birthday.
Oh.
You know what else happens in June? It is Pride Month.
Oklahoma!
It's fine. I promise we're not going to get bad. You're going to be okay in this. It's more about brands. It's not about actually the people. So, I don't know if you know about this, but Bud Light
I'm aware.
recently
I'm very on the internet.
Okay, so they made Dylan Mulvaney. Now that I don't think they changed their name.
Her.
Dylan was sponsored by Bud Light, and Bud Light has a very probably cohesive customer base that they
Would
should
you say
probably know.
Republican?
Yeah, I don't think the average Bud Light drinker is driving a Prius.
I saw they made her do the campaign and
They did the whole thing, and then they took a pretty big hit for it. I think
20%
I
drop.
think this month, year ago, was 24%.
Yeah, now people are going back and attacking Miller Lite for their
Did a woman thing.
for the woman. Yeah, the woman thing that campaign ran like months ago. People have ran out of
they were
shit
like,
to
let's go back.
Get mad about. They're like, let me look back. Let me look at their old tweets.
But I don't know if you saw this, but
No.
Ford released their new little truck called the Maverick.
I was not aware of that.
And they have an ad that will be shown in June, but it released early.
Okay.
And in the ad, they wrapped one of these trucks the flag of colors.
Okay.
And there's a rainbow in it. And at the end, it says like Ford, like strong. And the strong has the LGBT flag in the background. And now people are pissed at Ford because it's like, why is Ford jumping on this train? What is your opinion on brands kind of pushing these very niche things forward on the masses?
Joe, I'm going to tiptoe around this topic.
That's fine. Just don't cut it out.
I think that I understand that brands are trying to appeal to everyone.
They're taking a big hit doing it. That's the crazy thing to me is like,
I think
it's not crazy
people are
they're doing
taking a
it.
stand that, like, you know, you don't know who works in the company, who people that they are friends with, relatives, their loved ones, what that person has, whether identified as or going through, whatever.
I mean, I think when you get to billions of dollars in corporations, it doesn't matter anymore. Like once you're at that level, it doesn't matter if Bud Light's owner's daughter is trans. I don't think you can alienate 90% of your consumer base.
What I'll say is that I think that companies nowadays, with all of the current events that are going on and everyone having very strong opinions and, you know, of how they're living their life, I think that companies a lot of them are probably feeling forced into a situation where that they're going to get attacked. The damned if you do, damned if you don't, because if you do nothing, you're going to get attacked. If you do something the one way, you're going to get attacked. If you do something the other way, you're going to get attacked. You're going to get attacked on either front. So I think companies are probably either going off what they specifically believe in, or they're going off.
I don't think they were getting attacked. I don't think anyone historically has been like, Bud Light didn't support trans people. I don't think anyone's upset about that. I think they decided, let's just do it. It's almost like a participation award at this point.
I fully support any company doing what they feel is the right move for their brand. That is what I'll say. I am someone just like with the government that I and people are going to kind of say that I'm just trying to like save my ass.
Yeah.
And
I totally respect that. You also have to understand, Max has multiple brands where he has to tiptoe around these things, and it sucks that we live in a place where you have to do that. But
it's not even tiptoeing. I think people can do whatever the fuck they want to do.
I think do anything you want.
Look, bro. Here's what I'll say. Okay, I think everyone can have their opinions on whatever is going on in the world. I still think, regardless of whatever extreme views you have, I think it's important to be inclusive of whatever people like are or choose to do. And I think you should provide products that are going to, help. You don't know what the fuck people are going through that made them do whatever decision that you do. Now, do I think that in that same situation, are there extreme cases of these situations where there are people that are potentially taking advantage of it or going to the extreme and trying to create shock value and do things ridiculous and be inappropriate and do things they shouldn't do and go into, whatever. But I support people doing what they want to do. We live in we're all fucking humans, man. But there's always going to be outliers in extreme cases of whatever. I think the majority of people are just like, hey, this is who I am, and I support them.
I agree with everything you just said. I think
because their life doesn't affect me.
I think this goes back to the politics thing, but it's once politics gets involved in it that it all kind of becomes. Because I'm with you, I'm 100% I could care less. But when the government steps in and says, "Here's what's going to happen, and here's what you have to do," that's when I think everyone's like. Which I think that about everything, even with marriage. We talked about marriage before, and I'm like, even on marriage, I'm like, I don't want the government involved in anything.
I think if everyone is so outraged at the government or what these companies are doing, because the companies, whether they're doing it for their personal decision or what they think is best for the company, whether that is successful or not,
I think they just want the vote. But yeah,
it's bro, at the end of the day, it's if you just go live in the forest, then if you hate everything. And you wake up angry at what a company's doing. You get angry at who's on a fucking beer can. Bro, go live in the woods. Maybe. I don't know. I don't really have a stance on it. I think everyone should be able to do what they want. I think companies should be able to have marketing campaigns that don't appeal to a lot of people and it not plummet their company. I think.
Yeah.
I just
think that one was so polarizing that it just, and again, it's because Bud Light is Bud Light. That was just
I think if all of that shit stresses you out and affects your life so much, you should probably reevaluate how you absorb information and what you do in life. Because
we're going to Mexico. Mexico doesn't have these issues.
Because guess what? All these crazy, the world's crazy right now, right? Yeah. Just in every possible facet, right? And there's a lot of things that are maybe not how I live my life, and there's a lot of decisions that people make that are not how I make my decisions, but that doesn't affect, guess what? The past year or whatever, while everyone's losing their mind about who Bud Light puts on a fucking can, guess what? I'm still doing the same thing I'm doing every day, and I'm not letting that shit change my anger and raise my stress levels. And the fact that people are so upset that a retail store carries something that appeals to people that have nothing to do with you, let them do what they want.
I would also say that I think you're in a category of entrepreneurs and stuff. So if you notice, the people that don't care are the people that are moving their companies forward. The people that are the loudest are the people that are working corporate jobs that have nothing else to complain about. 100%. The people that are the loudest about this stuff are not owners of, you don't see the owner of Miller Lite coming out and be like, oh, Bud Light sucks, blah, blah. They don't give a shit. They're making millions of dollars. They're focusing same way you are. I'm focusing on the future of my company, not what's happening in the country. And that's probably your best stance to take against all this shit is work on yourself. Don't worry about everybody else.
I just, bro, I don't know. It's a heavy topic, and it's something that I still, my stance on it is that no matter what happens, no matter what people identify as, no matter what stores sell, if it makes people happy, that's great. Are there the extreme cases that people are doing things, stores are doing things, whatever, to try to get a rise, to try to create noise, right? Cool. Great. whatever, like whatever makes you happy. There's probably a lot of shit that I do that people don't agree with, but I'm still going to do what I do, right?
I'll say the only one that I agree with was the Balenciaga. That one was a little weird.
Yes.
That was a different thing, but that one's a little weird. I think we can both agree that on that front, like, so, there's like a whole different, we're really getting in the weeds here, but there's actually a whole thing where like there's a lobby that they want to start calling people that are attracted to children minor attracted people, MAPs. I think that's what they call it. That I'm like, no, we can draw a line right there. Like, you're not getting your own inclusive name and being part of a community. Like, no.
You know how in TV shows and stuff, people say, who are like working at jobs and they're like, oh, that's like above my pay grade. All these topics or stuff are like above my like.
I think that's why people really like you'd be surprised. Every single comment when I was like, give me some topics, almost all of them are politics. Cause like, I don't think anyone knows anything about you. I think they're just like, oh, what is Max's real?
Well, I think people think that I'm like hiding behind some facade of like I have like strong opinion and I just don't want to piss off the wrong people. But again, like I'm someone that I'm trying to like, again,
focus on yourself.
Retailers, businesses, whatever. Are there certain things that companies do that I'm like, oh, that wouldn't be my first thought to do, but I'm not saying like would never, but I'm just saying like, yeah, probably. But again, it's like whatever, if even, I look at it as like this, and it's going to sound really lame, but like if doing something brings like peace and happiness to like, this is going to sound lame, bro.
Yeah, do it.
But like if companies or whatever do something and someone else is like, because this company did this, not like, oh my God, I'm going to buy so much of this product, I'm going to go to the store, but like if they're like, feel like the world is against them and like a company is like kind of standing for like something that they believe in. Yeah, there's extremes on both sides, but the people that are just like going through whatever, I think it's a great thing to have inclusivity of all these things. Is it the way that I live my specific life? It may not be, but do I think that there are needs for all of these things for specific groups of people? Absolutely. And it actually does kind of trigger me how like the world is just so enraged. It's like things that, again, it's like things that have no real impact on the people that are getting so mad's lives. Like, why do you care so much?
And
you're just adding fuel to the fire.
I've grown a lot as a person, because I will tell you right now, and this sounds real shitty to the cameras, but like I was somebody like in elementary school, you kind of pick on the fat kid. It's like a thing that's just kind of there. And as I've gotten older, it's like, you don't know what the fuck this person's going through. Like, you don't know how they feel inside and stuff. And now I'm to the point where like, I feel really bad. I'm like, shit, like just call somebody up and like apologize to them. But I'm like, it's one of those things. And I think you're right. I think on that front, like I can't relate to these people. So it's not really fair for me to be like, oh no, you don't get to be on a Bud Light can. Because like, what if being on Bud Light can makes 100 kids the happiest they've ever been?
I think it's great. Like, I think it's like, even though like some people may have a problem with it, the people that it potentially could be helping, who the fuck are you to say the 1, 5, 10,000, 10,000, 100,000 people that they're like, I'm going through so much shit and this literally made me not want to fucking self-delete myself or something. Like, great. Like, I fully support companies doing what they think is best. Is it always what I personally would do? Maybe not, but again, I don't get into that whole. I don't get into the world of. So I think polarizing.
A big issue with it is just like kids. Kids are very impressionable. When you were a little kid, when I was a little kid, if you asked me what I wanted to do when I grow up, once a week, it was a different fucking answer. I was an astronaut. I want to be a basketball player. I want to do this. It's very easy. My favorite color was blue one week, orange the next week. Some older kid that I looked up to said it was pink, and I'm like, all right, I like pink now. It's just very easy to mold a little kid. That's, I think, most people. But we're gonna redirect. Something I'm dealing with right now, which he's awesome. But I have a roommate right now, and somebody asked my opinions on living with a roommate, and you were my roommate for 2 years.
We just went from a fucking 3. We did a 180, bro.
I'm going hard, yeah. I got to keep you interested, otherwise you're gonna turn off the cameras.
No, I know. I almost wanted to Oklahoma that, but
no, you're fine. I think people will appreciate like you're very open about it. It's good.
Yeah, it's like the last thing I want to say is like, I think there's extremes in every situation. Yes. And do I look at a lot of extreme things and go, that's extreme? Yes. Do I think that is 100% of what is of what is going on? No.
I will also say the extremes are what get media coverage. Correct. The news is a giant fucking clickbait. The news is like you, but with same level of content. I don't know, your content's okay. But the news knows, I mean, like they know. So like the news will run an article like this is what's happening. There's a million things that happen between A and B that were a lot better than that, but the news knows that this is what's going to get views.
Yeah.
So you're right. There's an extreme left, extreme right, and all we see is extreme left, extreme right. We don't see the fucking in between where everything's okay and nice. So like, yeah, I agree. If you're living in this middle ground, everything's fine.
Yeah.
But you turn on the news for an hour, and next thing you know, you're fucking pissed because
that's
all
why
you see is this side, or all you see is
That's
this
why
side.
I live in the middle and I don't turn on the news.
That's honestly a great idea.
And I'm very happy.
Last thing we're saying on this, I think a lot of the big companies, I think they give them more credit. I think a lot of the times, like these big, and it's hard to believe this, but I do think we talked about this with Balenciaga. I think these giant corporations don't have as much control as you think. Like I think one bad actor inside, or not even bad actor, but one person inside can say, I agree with this, let's run this. And I don't think everyone in that organization, like I genuinely don't think that everyone at the higher ups in Bud Light was like, fuck yeah, let's do this. I think one person was like, let's do this, and they had the right to do it. Because when you get to that level of company, signing rights, I mean, all kinds of people have acts that...
I still think all of that shit is blown out of proportion.
No, I agree.
I think it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, you don't agree with it, that's great. Just move on, choose a different beer. If you're so hardcore, choose a different beer. But when people are going on social and being so angry and boy, it's like, do it in silence. Like you don't need it's literally, you can't
do anything in silence in this day and age. Like, everything is out.
You know what this shit is? It's literally people who are so opinionated. It's like filming someone. It's like filming yourself giving food to the homeless. You know, it's literally that. You're like, if I don't voice my opinion on social media and get so outraged and let people know how pissed off I am, then I can't be angry. It's like you can just stop buying a product, stop going to a store because of their decision, and move on with your life.
But that doesn't give you gratification.
I don't
know. These people need the clicks. They need the views. The views make them feel better.
I'm someone. It's like when I click on Netflix and I see a movie and I watch 10 minutes of it and I go, this ain't for me. I turn it off and I find another movie. I don't go to fuck this movie. I need to go on social. I need to say how bad it was. Like I move on.
Like I said with the news, those are the extremes, and that's what gets coverage. The YouTube video that gets clicks will be this crazy thing happened. The person that's like, oh, everything's fine. No one's clicking on that video. That's just the unfortunate human nature in us. We want to see bad shit. We want to see really good shit. We don't want to see anything in the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, you know that with YouTube. If you title your video that dude fell off a cliff, it'll get 1 million views. If you title it, took food to dude to the vet, no one gives a shit.
That is the most I've ever talked about any sort of
I think I should be the host more often, dude. I have more topics, but let's loop back. We're not done yet because I do want to talk about, since we were roommates. One, what is your opinion on room? We're totally moving this away, but before you met Taylor at the ripe age
Speaking of politics, roommates,
45 or whatever you are now, but you were single for a long time. You live with roommates. You live with me. Actually, before me, did you have a roommate outside of college?
No.
I feel special.
Well, when I graduated college, I maybe was. No, well, I take that back. So I moved after college. I moved into my own place for the first time ever, and then after that, my brother wanted to move to about 2 hours north of where we lived to Northern Virginia because of his now wife. And I was like, oh, I'll move up there, and I started making the gym and whatever. And he basically was like, hey, you should move up with me and be my roommate. Okay. I was like, okay, I'm for it.
I feel like your brother's okay. It's a little bit different.
Yeah. So we were like. We were roommates for a year, and then after that, I've not had a roommate.
Besides me.
Correct.
What are your views on a roommate? And what would you tell somebody that's like, oh, I'm going to move in with a roommate?
I think it's a great way to save money. There's some
downsides too, though.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think the pros, you're saving money. You can get probably a nicer place because you're doing that. You have someone to hang out with, assuming I probably would never do like the random roommate. I don't know how people do that. No. But, usually it's like your friend, your buddies. The downsides, you probably won't think of your buddy the same way because you're going to see maybe how they live. You're going to get annoyed. You're going to have your privacy.
That brings us to the next question. Was there anything that I did while we were roommates that you were like, he should really fix that? Is there anything you were like, God, fuck Joe, like he really needs to... I can tell you right now, you leaving the fucking cabinets open nonstop, like every once in a while I'd walk upstairs to the kitchen, I'm like, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah, that's just like a personal problem that I have. No, I think you were someone that like I got along with extremely well because I think we're both like we go do our shit during the day and at night we just kind of sit on the computer like we whether it be video games or
I think there was a little bit of frustration there at the end because of like some sour strip stuff where I'd be like I'm gonna play video games and you'd be like we need to work on sour strips and I'm like but we live together. I would say if you're gonna have a roommate, don't work with your roommate. Like, don't start a business with your roommate that you also live with.
Yes, there was a lot of frustrations when like Joe was like, hey, like I hired Joe to do X for whatever websites it was. Maybe it was Everforward, maybe it was Sour Strips in the moment. And I would, when you don't see the person, you're just like, oh, it's going to take 2 weeks. But when I'm living with the person and I'm like, which in reality, like, it's like, oh, if I said you'll do it in 2 weeks, it shouldn't matter. But I guess I would be just
a little bit of like,
yeah, if I went up and like I'm working on Everforward or something or Sour Strips and you were just playing League of Legends, you have every right against, like I said, I would take 2 weeks, but
both ways.
But I'm just kind of like, bro, like why won't, like, let's just do this. Like, why don't we just do this now?
I would say my advice is very heavily like, don't work together. If you're going to be roommates, don't also be like, let's start a business.
Yeah, no. But no, I think we were honestly like great. Like and it's like I had someone to get dinner with all the time, like food all the time. So that was like lovely.
Yeah, something I'm dealing with right now. My roommate's great at the moment. I'm about to move out. I sold my house, as you know, and I'm moving into an apartment. But my roommate's awesome. But I have I pay cleaning ladies once a week to come. Yeah. Come on a Wednesday.
We were pretty clean together.
Well, we both paid for cleaning ladies.
Oh, yeah,
if we're both splitting it, I have no problem with this. But in my current house, I pay for the cleaning ladies. And I swear to God, it's like if they come, and they come different days. It's not always like they don't come Wednesday at 9 every day. They come like different days. Whatever day the cleaning ladies come is the day my roommate decides to prepare a 7-course meal. Without fail. If they come Tuesday, he's cooking fucking steak and macaroni Tuesday night.
Oh, like after they've already come.
Like the day of, and then my kitchen's like, there's stuff laying all over the place for like a week. And I'm just like,
well, if
you
anything,
couldn't do it the night before? That's my only issue with the roommate.
And I'm not saying I'm perfect at this, but I think you're kind of a bitch if you don't set boundaries and honestly rules. If it's your house or whatever, and just be like, hey, here's the expectations of the roommate, especially if they're coming into your home. Just be like, hey, here's my expectations. Like, are you cool with this or not?
I think it's easier too if you both are renting. I think the issue is if I was your roommate and you own the house, you have these like expectations of your house. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm a renter. I'm paying my rent and I'm doing whatever the fuck I want. I don't care if like the AC goes out, I ain't splitting it with you. It ain't my problem. It's yours.
Yeah.
I think it's easier if you're both like neutral ground. We're both paying rent. I think it becomes a lot harder if one of you owns the house and the other one's renting.
Correct. I agree.
Which is, I think, the issue I'm having now of like,
I do agree with you.
How are we doing on time? Because I got one more topic or we can just call it.
Yeah, we're good. We were like right at like an hour and 10 minutes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, you sent me this topic, so I figured I'd throw it in here. But TikTok got banned in the state of Montana.
I saw that today at the dermatologist.
How you feel about that? I know you're kind of older. You don't.
Well,
really do a lot of TikTok, but
one side of me would be like, yes, bringing long form content back.
I'm with you. I love long form. I hate short form.
Correct.
I feel like I can't. It's not.
I mean, there's a lot of ways to think about it. So it's like, the one part of me is like, oh, good, like YouTube views will go back up, right? But then you have the super, I guess, political side of it. You're like, is this affecting our like is the government deciding that you can't do something?
I think the biggest concern
freedom
is
of speech.
Kids. Kids like cognitive ability is the biggest concern everyone has.
No, I'm saying is the decision to remove something. Because you don't they say they're doing it for safety reasons, but again,
let's just back up for people who don't know. TikTok is owned by a company that has very strong ties with the Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah, but
so that's the big concern is that people's data, and I think they had a whole like congressional hearing where they kind of showed like, hey, these aren't valid. I think based on the hearing, it was kind of like, I don't think China's actually like spying on our people. But that was the issue. I think that was the major thing where people were like, hey, we're going to stop it because they're worried that like China is infecting.
No, I definitely understand that aspect of it. Yeah. But to play devil's advocate, I'd be like, what if it's not as extreme as that? But again, you don't know. Like the government, you don't know. Like you'll never know.
I think parents' issue is like, oh, our kids are getting terrible content. I'm like, well, you're just going to send them back to Instagram Reels, which is the same fucking thing.
And there's going to be another app. Yeah,
90% of my Instagram Reels are just TikTok rebranding.
I don't think it's solving the problem at all. I think the quick thought of me is like, yay, boo, TikTok. But again, honestly, a lot of the business success we've had has come from TikTok and the.
You think our parents, like if CDs were like, oh, we're not gonna do CDs anymore, like fuck yeah, tapes are coming back. Like you think like we're the old people now? We're like, oh, TikTok, like we hate TikTok because we like long form.
Maybe okay. Here's what I'll definitely say. I think with all of this happening and apps potentially closing, what I think the good that it's doing is making people realize that if you put all of your eggs into one single platform and you are a TikTok superstar and you have not either figured out or found a way to convert that audience into some other platform and spread that over. Like, I love YouTube so much, but if YouTube went away, I still have a very strong Instagram, strong Twitter, I actually strong TikTok. And if one of them went away, I'm fine, and I've set myself up with a business. Not everyone is like that, and I understand not everyone's at the same point.
I think people have a hard time. I think I've seen all the time where I'm questioning like people that are huge on YouTube but tiny on Instagram, or huge on TikTok but have no YouTube following, and it's like how is not.
What people also don't know, so it's banned in Montana, but that ban does not take effect till January. So if people are smart, they have another 6.5 months.
For the people, Montana was the first state to ban it statewide, which I don't even know how you do that. I don't know if if you're in Montana, it doesn't show up on the app store.
No, here's the crazy. So it was on the news when I was at the dermatologist this morning, which I'm fine, by the way. So it's I don't know if it's like the app store itself, but basically people can get fined up to $10,000 a day if they have the ability to have that app downloaded. That does not apply to people using the app. So it becomes a very complicated thing. So it's like no one can download the app anymore. And if people have access to download it, the services that, now I could be wrong about some of it, but the services that allow them to download it can be fined up to $10,000 a day.
But if you already have it.
I don't know if it's going to do it.
Or like if I take a trip to Montana, does it not work on my phone?
That's the thing. But people who are using the app, they cannot get penalized.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's going to. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how it works.
A lot of states have done this, but at the government level. So this has happened in multiple states where they're like, if you work for the USPS or you work for the FBI, you can't have TikTok on your personal device.
Yeah.
Which is a lot easier to enforce. I don't know how you just say if you live in the state, can't use the app.
I don't know.
Can I use a VPN?
I think it's one of those things that I really do not understand how they enforce an app ban. I don't know how, and this is a nerd question for you. Know. Like if someone has an app, like can they create I'm thinking in my head like a force field bubble, but like can they turn off an app?
I assume if I was from a technical standpoint, I would say you would you would block access to the TikTok API in your state. So the app is still on my phone, but when I open it, nothing's coming in. Like there's no connection.
So the app knows where you are.
That would be in my head, that'd be the easiest thing.
Can you put VPNs on your phone?
Well, yes. And also the issue there becomes like, well, I'm on Verizon. Can the state step in and tell Verizon what I can and can't? Like now we're infringing on like freedom of, like there's all kinds of
that's what people are saying.
So I really don't know how you do that from the easiest thing for me, if I was doing this, I would say, okay, if your device is in these states bounds, you can't communicate with the TikTok servers, and that takes care of it.
I think honestly, it probably won't. I think either for whatever reason, whether you agree with it or not, unless the United States literally goes, TikTok, you cannot be in our entire country. Yeah. There's going to be almost impossible. It's going to be impossible to.
Well, they're too big.
The other issue is you can't regulate it.
If the only reason they're going to ban it is the ownership, well, I feel like Apple or somebody's going to buy TikTok and then it's fine again. Like I feel like they're too big to be banned. Like Montana's going to do this, but also like 10 people live in the whole state of Montana. Like Montana's some pretty.
Rob Bailey lives in Montana, dude.
I'm just saying, like Montana's not a huge. If they did this in California, oh, dude, we'd hear all about it all day. I'm just like, I feel like it's going to become this thing where like TikTok's just going to sell to a U.S. company. Like Instagram's going to buy TikTok or Facebook's going to buy TikTok, and then it'll be fine. And then we'll go back
I think what these kids should take away from this, honestly, like put your outrage and frustration and whatever and your extreme tweets you're about to do aside. Let this be an eye-opening experience that if all of your livelihood is on one, and this isn't even like social media, but it could be like business in general, but like if all of your eggs are in one basket, like what happens if that goes away?
Well, and that's a social media thing that we haven't seen before. Because if you worked for 20 years as a mechanic at a body shop and that body shop goes under, you can go get another job as a mechanic at a body shop. But if you have a million followers on TikTok
and it goes away,
shut down, like you can't just go get a million followers on Instagram.
You can't just start and be like, hey, it's me from
start all over again. So the experience curve is completely different from a traditional job where like, I'll just go from Apple to Google.
The crazy thing is like, I'm a little bit older and I've worked like a desk job, right? Yeah. Right. But like a lot of these kids coming up were like, TikTok is the only thing they know. Like they don't have any technical skills beyond fucking doing the woe.
You can tell. I thought this the other day, but this is a hot take. I follow some girls that are, you know,
I'm sure you follow a lot of girls.
Fitness girls, right? And
for science purposes.
Yeah, scientific reasons. But I've noticed that like the number one tale of like someone's entire, like when they're like, oh, like I do such a big job and I have so much to do all day. If their laptop is like more than 10 years old, I immediately know you're full of shit. Like when I see these videos that are like, oh, like I'm an IG model and it's like I had to answer emails this morning and they're on an 8-year-old MacBook. No one that's making $1 million a year that's using a computer is on an 8-year-old laptop. You're on a brand new MacBook.
That's what you think about? What
the
fuck?
All the time. When I see these girls are like, I wake up at 6 a.m. and I answer my emails and they're on like this piece of shit laptop, or they're like, I plan out my day. I'm like, no, you don't. You don't. That laptop came out of the storage bin just for this Instagram video and then went right back in. Because no one is on an 8-year-old laptop.
All of this stuff is such like generational. Like everyone's just mad at the previous generation because like your frustration and my frustration as well of your father, for example, probably, you know, now that I started the candy business, probably look at YouTubers and like, this is not a real job, right? I look at people who probably have come up on like literally just doing like dances and literally them filming themselves putting away the dishwasher and stuff.
Battles. You told me about our mutual friend Corn.
Bro,
Max explained this to me and I still don't comprehend it. And I'll let you take this away. But Max explained to me that our friend Cornelius, you're watching this, what's up? He battles people on TikTok and he makes a bunch of money.
Bro.
But I'm like, what is a battle? What is happening?
These battles are so ridiculous. These battles are, it's like, let's say you and I don't even live near each other. We could, but like we're just two TikTok people. We go on live together. It's a split screen. It's you and me on this live. And all we're doing, the whole purpose of the live is that the people in the chat are buying gifts, which is they're paying for real money and those gifts convert to money. So basically they're
digital gifts.
Yeah. It's like a rose or like an astronaut and like the bigger things cost more money. And like, and so when you get whatever money, it has like a meter of who's winning, who's getting the most money. And all these people are doing on these lives, and this is most of them that I've seen, has just been like, come on, chat. I have to beat Joe. Come on. Oh, thank you for a galaxy. Thank you for giving me $30. Oh, come on. And all they're doing is like saying, come on, chat, give me more money so I can beat them. And then when you win, you're just like, thank you guys. Like you gave me more money than
you keep the money?
Than he got, and then you get the money. That's the whole purpose.
TikTok takes like 50% of that money too.
No,
it all goes.
Like if I buy $5 worth of coins and I give you $5, you get $5.
It has a percentage.
I don't know, bro. And you'll see kids that like in 25 minutes are making 10 grand.
That's my old man moment. No, you tell me shit like that, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. It's a tween pop. I don't understand.
And sometimes I'm not even kidding. Like they'll be on chats doing other shit and just like they're not even talking. Like I'm not even talking to you during the chat. I'm just talking to the chat saying, come on, guys. Oh, thank you for the galaxy. Thank you for the rose. Come on, guys. Oh, we're about to win. Oh my God. Thank you.
Look, I'll talk shit about it all day. But
it's like you're both. If you were both doing like ice sculpting and like,
I agree with that. Cool with that.
It's ridiculous.
I'll talk shit about it all day, but if I could do it, same with OnlyFans. I'll talk shit about OnlyFans all the time. If you told me right now I could take my shirt off and make 30 grand a month, like I'd do it. I just can't right now, but
man, times are different, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just pissed that I have to do actual work. But again, same argument. I mean, you could look at my videos. Someone
like my dad, he'd be like, Max doesn't work. Max around all day.
I'd be like,
my dad's grandpa, he's probably like, he doesn't work.
I'd go, Steve, you try making a sick YouTube video like mine. Make it float.
He can't even turn on his TV. I get phone calls at like midnight sometimes. He's like, where's the Netflix button? I'm like,
can't turn on the TV,
white and red one, Dad.
But he can build an entire cabinet system for a whole house.
He can do that. He wants to be on a podcast. He's asked me multiple times, like, can I come on with you?
I have to get, maybe the next Joe podcast we do will be Joe and his father. And if you don't know, Joe's dad is Joe, but more Joe.
Yeah, it would be a very interesting. It would be a very interesting podcast.
It's two of Joe in one person, and that's
yeah. It'd be a fun one.
The first thing I'd ask him would be like Steve, like, what do you think about?
The problem is he's going to talk shit to me, and I don't know if I want that on the internet because like he talks a lot of shit to me sometimes. Like
yeah, no, I know.
That's the only that's my fear of coming on this thing. He's going to be like, oh, this dude, and I'm just going to look like an asshole just sitting here like.
Do you think you'd cry?
It's gonna be like the Christian podcast all over again, where I'm just like on the sidelines, like, "Hi guys," like every once in a while let me interject here. Yeah, I think it'd be you and him talking, and I'd just be like, and occasionally like this idiot of a son of mine, and I'd be like, "How's it going?"
Yeah, he's buying all his goddamn cars and then selling them, wasting money.
Well, if we are wrapping up, there is one more question that I had more than any other question when I asked on Instagram what they would like us to talk about. And you can't back out of this one.
My penis is 13 inches.
Yes, it's close to that. Is Max an ass or a boob guy? Or are you a feet guy? You seem like you might be a feet guy.
Bro, it actually weirds me out. And like, dude, there's some things that I will never understand.
Feet?
Being really into feet and
I don't like feet.
Like sucking on feet and toes and stuff. I think that's, but you know what again, if it makes you happy.
Yeah.
And honestly,
you have to pick. You can't say both. And
golden showers. I don't understand that.
No one does. Even weirder than that. It's like, oh, take a shit on me. Like, no.
No, I'll tell you after the podcast, but I have a friend that many years ago, he would tell me that like he would like pee on his girlfriend, and they were like,
that's really wild. But while
in
we're
the
on
shower,
topic,
in the shower,
only because I've had a couple shots, I'll talk about this for a second. But apparently, I was told recently that apparently the whole like squirt thing is just pee. So apparently, if you ever had a girl squirt on you, like you're just getting peed on, and I'm into that. I'm cool with that. Like, so maybe. Anyways, let's just.
I don't even know where a clitoris is, bro.
Yeah,
if you have to ask if I'm an ass man or a boob man,
Taylor's watching this.
I'm a Taylor man.
I said I wouldn't let you cop out of it, but
I really don't.
You're just all about it.
That might as well be a Republican or Democrat.
It is. I was gonna make a joke in my new video. I bought a Ram, and I was gonna say like Ram guys are ass guys, and like Ford guys are tit guys, and then Chevy guys are.
I think it's weird that you have to like that. There's so I'm a just.
That has to be. You have to want one more than the other.
No, I really don't.
Both.
No, you're probably thinking I'm avoiding this thing, but ask.
You're a personality guy.
Yeah. To be honest, here's what it is. If I could choose any feature, like obviously I want them to be attractive, right? For my initial thing. And this is where Taylor really won me over. And I've said this on many Q&As, I am a smile guy. You need a nice set of chompers.
I appreciate that. This is a weird thing for me to say, but I'm very big into smells. You have bad breath, or you like an odor as a human?
Yeah,
I'm
of
out.
course.
I can't fucking deal with it.
But I'm not even talking about like, oh, you like poor hygiene. Like I want you to have like good oral hygiene. But like even if you were, whether it be you were gifted it or you got braces or whatever, like I think a really, really white, good teeth are like, I'm very attracted to like.
I'm very into breath.
And Taylor has the best.
Breath is a big one for me, dude. I went on a date.
Bro,
she ain't gonna watch this. So
Joe, this is so stupid. No one is like, actually, I prefer a girl with bad breath.
I'm like, these girls never gonna watch this. But I was in high school, maybe after high school. I went on a couple dates with this chick.
Jennifer.
No.
Allison.
She had the worst breath. And I'm like, not even like a weird, like in a way that I'm like she'd talk in the car and I'm like, dude, please stop talking. Like, let's not. And it was one of those things where I was like, hey, do you want a piece of gum? She's like, no, I don't like mint. I'm like, all right, well, like, what do you brush your teeth? Now at this point, I'm intrigued. I'm like,
what if she had halitosis, bro?
I'm like, what do you brush your teeth with? She's like, oh, I use like kids' toothpaste because I hate mint. And I'm like,
she's like, I just use doo-doo.
Pretty much, dude. It might as well have been. And I felt bad, but I'm like, and you can't tell them that. You can't tell. I have a whole nother topic, but we should push that to the next one because there's a topic here that's wild.
I think body odor, smell, oral hygiene, that should be a default. If you have been told by anyone that you have any sort of body odor, like do your. I don't know what all the world's out there of like why people have certain things, but like do your best to try to alleviate it because the general population probably.
I'll agree with you there. If I ask like what's your best feature and you say like, oh, my body odor, I'm like, that's weird. Like that's a normal, that's a given.
I think it was weird that you said having good breath is a turn on.
Because it's happened to me a couple times.
That should be a standard.
There's been a couple times where I've been on dates and like they kiss me and I'm like, this is disgusting. Like what the is in your mouth?
Speaking of mouth things, I'll wrap the podcast up with this. And I told this on a freaking Q&A forever ago. But there was one of the biggest turnoffs that I've only experienced with one girl. I went on a date one time and we went to the bar, had a great time, and then we were at her apartment after having like a drink. And we were just like chatting in her kitchen, and she like burped, like a burp, right?
Yeah.
And at first I was like, okay, like people burp, like whatever, like maybe it kind of slipped out, and I was like, like I didn't acknowledge it, whatever. Yeah. And about 5 minutes later, again, like a noticeable burp.
Not cool with that.
And that's when and actually some people push back on this. They said it's ridiculous I said this, but
if I don't do it, you don't have to do it.
No.
If I'm not burping all the time, like you don't have to.
She burped. This is the first time I met the girl.
Yeah.
First time I met the girl.
Yeah.
Burped again, like not like that, right? And I said like, like, hey, would you mind like not burping? Like I said that. Yeah,
Wow.
it was a second time.
I would just see.
No.
That's why we're different. Because I would just leave and not.
I left after. But no, here's the kicker. After I said that, and I'm not even capping, no cap, for real, on God. She says, "Why does it bother you?" Then goes, makes herself
Blow
burp.
it at you.
Burped and literally blew it in my face.
I'm throwing a punch.
No, I remember I was like, I said the drink and I left. I burped and blew it in my face, Joe.
I wouldn't. I'll tell you my biggest the thing here, smacking on food. I'm like, unless you have a fucking malformed mouth where like I get it,
bro.
There's no reason that you can't close your mouth when you're eating. If I'm sitting across from you at dinner and you're just like, dude, stop.
Just like with hygiene, I think table manners.
That even with guys, I've been to dinner with like a group of guys and one of them smacking. I'm like, dude, like, there's no reason for you to be smacking. Like, just close your mouth.
I'm gonna say this actually. With that, I actually, how like this is getting real weird now.
Yeah, it's fine.
But I don't like it, even if we're in a group full of guys or just a guy farting.
Oh, 100%. I'm always like, what the? Someone rips ass in my car and they're like laughing. I'm like, bro, get the out of my car.
I don't like no.
I got Alcantara seats in here. If someone farts in my GT3, I'm like, get the fuck out of my car.
Someone audibly farts.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm literally like disgusted and like almost angry at them.
Yeah, but girls don't fart, so it's fine.
That's true.
Yeah. That's all I got, Max. If you want to take us home, go for it, dude. But I feel like I did a pretty decent job of being the host.
I'm going to edit the shit out of this podcast.
No, you're not. We have Oklahoma for that. You did Oklahoma one time. I'm proud of you for not Oklahomaing. You did good.
Sometimes I worry that I think with nowadays, I think people are, and I'm someone who falls in this category of, like, I know there's your extreme one way, extreme the other way. I'm someone who falls in the middle, but I think as someone who falls in the middle, I'm almost so afraid to have not even an opinion, but just any sort of thought on any situation that you're going to get attacked either way. So I just don't have it. And I'm so worried that even my like trying to explain of my, like, I don't understand the world and whatever. And even having a thought of like, hey, like everyone should be able to do whatever, you're then going to get attacked, or you're then going to get like, oh, you secretly were to the right or you secretly to the left.
No, I think you're pretty main. I believe you. I will tell everybody right now, I believe everything Max said. I have no reason to be like, he's hiding anything. And I appreciate that, because I thought going into this, you'd be like, no, we're not talking about that. I appreciate you giving your opinions in a way.
Well, I think it's important for like people to like, I mean, whether it be to hear my perspective on things, but to also just be like, you can be in the middle and you don't have to have an extreme thought one way, extreme thought the other. No. And I really do believe of like, just be like, I live my life not only a quarter mile of the time, nothing else matters. Not my team, not the bullshit, not the mortgage.
Yeah.
Like horse blinders, bro.
Look,
like horse blinders.
I'm gonna, since this is my podcast, right? Let me. I'm gonna say something that probably no one's expecting from me, because like people, I feel like people all the time are like, oh, like what are your beliefs? And like I have a bunch of guns, I have cars, I have trucks. It's not hard to figure out what the I kind of align. I feel like people should figure it out. But I will say, and this is off brand for me, I'm with you on the like, if something makes, if I'm alone, if I am doing something and there's a chance for me to make like a child happy, or a person that has had a really rough fucking time the last week happy, I'm all for it. I'm like, anything I can do to make this person's day better, like why would I not do it?
On another level, it's the same kind of thing of like, I'm a 33-year-old man child, and like my YouTube videos, I kind of like lean into my dumbness, humor, inappropriate 10-year-old jokes. But like the I'll use random numbers, but like the 100 people that are like, this guy's so fucking annoying, this so cringe, I hate Max, I'm gonna make a Reddit thread about fucking everything he does. But let's say the 10 people, 10% of that, if the 10 people are like, I was having a shitty day and your video made me happy, your video brought light into my day, and as lame as that sounds,
it's all worth it.
Then I'm like,
same thing.
It's like, I think the people who are getting so outraged at anything, it's like,
well, okay, and we can wrap this up, but it's mob mentality 100%.
It is.
Because no one, unless you're a fucking truly evil person, no person is going to see a kid walking down the street with a pride flag and rip it out of their fucking hands and tear it up and tell them to leave. But all of a sudden, it's our half of the population yeah, we don't want like, let's burn all these flags and stuff. So it's just like, it's mob mentality. Like individually, I think most people are good fucking people. It's when you get a mob together and we're told this is how we're supposed to think. Oh, dude, everything's fucking on fire. But I would say for me, I don't think most people think that coming from me, but I 100%, I'm like, look, if one person is happier about it, it's okay. Am I going to agree that you should be referred to as a mountain lion? Probably not.
Well, the crazy thing is that people like you saying that.
Yeah.
People are like, now the extremists are going to be
he's
like,
pretty cool. And the other people are like, Joe's a pussy.
Yeah, they're going to be like, he's just conforming to the sitting on the fence, dude. Oh, dirt.
Let's wrap it up, dude. Give us the outro.
You get the outro.
I don't know what it is. Can I be host again, though? That's the big question.
That will be the, how about this? You know, I've never really done this, but we'll say this podcast needs to get over 5,000 likes.
Is that a lot? I don't know.
We usually get like 2.5.
That's a lot.
But this podcast will get over 20,000 views.
Maybe not.
So if, I don't know, 5,000 likes or more, Joe will bring him back in a couple months or whatever. But no matter what, I hope you guys are enjoying having Joe as a guest on this on a very regular basis. And I'm not even kidding, bro. I have 3 more guests coming out. And then you again, I have no one after that.
I think people just want to watch us anyways.
I potentially have Jesse Wellens on here. But bro, the amount of people that I've reached out to that like, it is so hard to get guests. And like, I'm stressing out about a month from now.
Don't worry about it, dude. Have somebody on with a little bit lower, like you don't have to get, content's better than getting views. Like have some random.
You know what I thought about doing is doing different professions, like having like not
firefighter on.
I know, but like not like a fame, not like they don't have to be like Dr. Mike, but like having like a doctor, a police officer, a firefighter, a therapist. I thought about having a therapist.
That'd be weird.
And literally having like a therapy session on camera.
What if you break down and start crying?
I probably will.
A friend of mine.
Joe is so mean to me.
If you decide to do that, a good friend of mine's dad is the NASA guy that trains astronauts here. He'd be a cool guy to talk to because he knows a lot of space stuff.
I'd be like, you like that ass or not, All right. That will wrap up the 51st episode of Don't Be Sour. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you're on any sort of listening device, give us a 5-star review. I don't know what it does, but I think it does something. Let's keep growing this podcast. Thank you guys so much. Eat more sour strips and ever forward. And also Joe's, if you missed it, Joe's one video did go up.
I got another one now.
It got more views than my vlogs get that I put a lot of thought and effort into and upload on a consistent basis. But it is what it is. Mm-hmm. That'll be it.
All right.
We out this bitch.
Goodbye. That was good.
I'm going to get canceled, bro.
No, you're not. You literally didn't say anything bad.